The day golf became my passion. I mean, it may have been a passion at age 3 without me knowing, because I sure did rock that hat. But in all seriousness, golf wasn't something I was confident in. I knew I was addicted to the game, but with it being unpopular in school and almost laughed at, I tried to keep it hidden. I didn't belong to any expensive clubs or have any instructors like that like most of the good players did. I didn't know if I was any good at all. But that's enough about me. Let's get to the story. My grandpa had somehow convinced me to try to qualify for the county junior all-star team to play an annual tournament with the neighboring county junior team called War of the Roses. It's the biggest junior tournament in the county, and it was the day of the qualifier. I had the biggest butterflies you could possibly imagine. All I could do was sit there at the table and play with my cereal. "Byron, you have to eat," my mom screamed at me. "I have no appetite, Mom," I said. After finally giving up on the bowl of cereal, my grandpa picked me up and took me to the tournament. He always insists on taking me to the golf course, so this time it wasn't any different. We played together a lot, so he knew my game quite well. He knew exactly what I was struggling with, and he always tried to talk to me about what I needed to do to improve it. The car ride was no exception, and with how nervous I was, I just wasn't having it that day. And to make matters worse, only after a few practice shots from the driving range, I hear my name yelled from the starter. "Markle," he yelled, and all I could think was, I can't believe this. I told him I thought I started at 11:30, but he simply replied, "You're 11:10 on the sheet," and in my first big tournament, I wasn't going to argue. Not to mention the straw hat he was wearing was quite intimidating. When it was my turn to hit, I was shaking with nerves and adrenaline. I quickly put my tee in the ground and ball on the tee. After a practice swing to rid the tightness, I stepped up to the ball. I took my swing, but I was still tight, and all I could think of was no when I saw the ball flying way right. But after the first tee shot, I did get rid of the butterflies, and I got in the zone, and I was playing pretty good golf. I made the turn through 9 holes and posted a score of 39, and I was pretty comfortable, but I didn't know where I stood with everybody else. The only time I saw another player from a different group that day was on the 16th hole. My friend Charlie was playing the 18th, which comes back right beside the 16th hole, so I called over to him to talk. It couldn't have came at a better time, I thought. Boy, was I wrong. "How's it going?" I asked when we finally got close enough. All he could do was shake his head in disappointment. "Cut a 76, I heard." And with that, the butterflies flew right back into my stomach. With a 39 on the front, and me playing pretty well on the back, I knew I was right around the number. I couldn't make any mistakes. I immediately wished I hadn't even seen Charlie. With my knees buckling on 17T, my right foot slipped as I took the club back. "Ah!" I yelled as my foot slipped, and when the club made contact with the ball, I knew it was way right yet again. And this time I wasn't so lucky. I found myself stymied between 2 trees and a narrow gap to shoot through if I wanted to get it anywhere close to the green. I knew I had to go for it. I closed my eyes when I made contact, hoping it wouldn't ricochet off the tree back at me, but I didn't hear a single branch. I looked up to see my ball 2 feet from the hole. It was an easy tap in. I couldn't have been happier. 18 was a breeze. Immediately after finishing, I quickly ran to the scoreboard. The top 5 scores were posted, but I wasn't worried about that. The thing I was worried about was written large and circled for me, the final cut, and it read 76. I looked down at my scorecard and I added it up again, not once, not twice, but 3 times to make sure it was right, and it was. A 75, and I was in. I was on the junior all-star team. The following day's headline in the local newspaper was "Juniors to Take on Harrisburg," an article about the kids who made the team. Kids at school congratulated me, but in the end I was more happy that I just accomplished something I didn't think I would. That was the day I fell in love with the game. So much so that I'm trying to make a career out of it. I'm now studying PGA golf management here at Penn State. If I've learned anything, it's to do what you enjoy, and be confident in it.